Hey, it's Mark Lettieri here with JamPlay.com. In this lesson, I want to talk about a cool technique that I use a lot. And it's kind of a hybrid or a combination between like a bend and a slide. It's sort of like a slur, like a blur. A bend and a slur. It's a blur. Let's call it the blur technique. That sounds good. I think the first time I ever really heard it done was either Ian Thornley or Michael Landau, actually. And a friend of mine, Chris Van Tassel from Rocket Pedals, actually showed it to me on the guitar. And I was like, oh, wow, I got to do this now, like all the time. And but you can hear it in Mateus Asato's work. You can hear it in John Mayer. You can hear it in lots of different modern players. Guthrie Govan, a lot of people are using this style. So I thought we would maybe talk about it. It's really cool. It kind of adds a bit of a more unique spice to a bend. And I think our track is in the key of E, so I'll just play everything in the key of E. And let me just demonstrate it to you on the G string real quick, kind of what I'm talking about, where you bend it, slide up to the note you're bending, slide back down, and then finish off to another note. So it sounds, well, I don't really know. I mean, it takes a bit of some left-hand coordination to really get together. It seems simple, but maybe not so much. So I'm bending up a whole step, and then I slide up a half step as I'm, if you do it really slow, it sounds kind of garbage, but as I'm bending up, I slide up a half step as I'm bringing the string back down, and then I slide into like a target note, in this case, E. So I'm starting with F sharp, full step bend, and then when I'm at the top of that bend, slide up one fret, slide back down as you're bringing the string down, and then finish off at the note you'd like to finish off with. So you can finish off wherever you'd like, but little half step there. So it's kind of a cool little soulful sort of flavor, and it's just a nice, yeah, I use the word flavor, so I'm not going to say that again. But it's just a nice technique you can throw in to get a little bit more mileage out of a normal kind of bend that you might do. So let's go in, and I wrote this solo that has this way too much on purpose so that you can kind of get a feel for how it's going to work with half steps, whole steps on different strings. Like I said, this is a technique I use a whole bunch when I'm playing, and so I think it'll be cool for you to check it out as well. So here it is on the track. All right, cool. So there's our super slidey, bendy melody thing that we've got going on. Let me show it to you. And again, this is one of those things where when you go to play it, you can try and duplicate what I did, or you can slur in other places and blur. That's the name of the technique, right? So first phrase, and I'll turn off the delay so it doesn't get super irritating. We're in E. The chords are just E major 7 and A major 7. And then at the end of the progression, it just turns around with a over B, or a B suspended 13. So first lick, shooba-dwee-dwee. And we're going to bend G string full step, and then do our technique down to E. And then C sharp to B on the B string. And now a whole step in. This one's a little harder because you kind of have to like really get underneath it, because the next note is two frets away actually, like that. So it's almost like part of your C sharp minor pentatonic scale. And And then I did a little bar dip there, which you can if you want. You don't need to do that. So, one more time for me. All right. Then we go back to the B string, half step bend, and then slide on the G string from B to C sharp, back down, slide up to E. So, boo dee diddly dee dee. All right. All right, then we did the same technique as actually the same set of notes as the first part. We just decided to do it on a lower string because I just wanted to see how it feels. So this time, I'm actually going to bend down, right? Because bending up there just doesn't really work for me. So I'm going to bend down. Same idea. You can really grab the D string there. Whole step. And I'm using fairly light strings, which is good and bad. It's good because it's easy to bend. It's bad because you can overbend, which sometimes I'm having some issues with here. So, like, right, slide up to A, or slide up to G sharp and A. There you go. And then the next phrase starts here. This one's kind of tough on the G string. So it's a half step bend up to E. A little overbend there, right? Slide down to B, E, G sharp, right? And then this phrase, it's a couple. Here's a half step bend. So we're bending, and then a whole step bend. So I think I did that on the track that you heard, which is cool too. I think what I meant to do is, and then you can finish off kind of how you'd like. So that's what I wrote down. That's what I tried to achieve here. Again, if you want to slide some of these and bend some of these, either or, you can kind of do your own thing with it. But that's the technique. I would maybe get used to kind of practicing it on each string, practice it with whole steps, practice it with half steps, and then I'm going to go ahead and play this one more time, try my best to replicate what I did. There may be some changes. It's kind of one of those melodies where it's pretty open. If I'm feeling a certain way, I might play it a different way. So here we go. Okay, so there's our melody. Yeah, dig in there, You can try to match me, but if you're a little bit off, that's kind of the beauty of music, It's never perfect. One thing to keep in mind, though, try your best to make sure the bends the bends that you're going for are in tune. If you'd like to do a half step, make sure it's pretty much a half step. It's tough, This is actually good practice for me, so thanks for watching me practice. All right, now we're going to play it together.